This Chat with the Experts is brought to you by Angie's List on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back to Chat with the Experts, brought to you by Angie's List. We've spent today's show talking with Dennis Lamb of the Mad Hatter Chimney Service. We've been talking about the importance of chimney inspections and how to care for your fireplace. But now it's time to transition to our Writer's Block segment. And you know the drill here. Every week we welcome in one of the creators of Angie's List online and magazine content. Today we're happy to welcome Amanda Bell. She's an interactive media writer for Angie's List Weekly. And that's our mobile app, which is really great. Provides consumers with weekly interactive content. You can download it on your tablet or smartphone by going to the App Store. To give it a try. And Amanda's joined us on the show before to talk about a number of different subjects, and we're happy to have her back today. She provides expert advice for home maintenance and lifestyle topics, and she's got a knack for displaying brilliantly on mobile platforms. Amanda, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me back, Kyle.
Yeah. No question. We're going to be talking about some pieces from the Angie's List Weekly that are coming up next month. But before we get to that, we're going to be talking today about, preparing your home for winter. And we've talked before on the show about you, kind of your journey into home ownership. Are there any things you learned during your first winter in your new home that you're going to apply the next time around?
Yes. Like we were just saying, one thing that we've done already for the fall, I know we talk a lot about at Angie's List and write a lot about just the importance of having your HVAC equipment checked. Yeah. The first Christmas at our house, we were actually set to have a bunch of people over and our heater stopped working.
Oh, man.
So if we had checked it before, we would have, probably could have stopped that.
Sure.
But that cost us a pretty penny. But
yeah.
So learned to kind of maybe check in more on the less fun stuff.
Right.
So I'm all about the more home decor kind of stuff, but the maintenance stuff is also pretty important. So.
Yeah, it's funny because you hear the stories about it's always going to break down at the worst possible time, and now you're living proof that that's the case.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, and we were remodeling our dining room too at that point, so it was like 55 degrees. So
that's not good.
No, not good.
Well, one of the first pieces in the Angie's List Weekly on the subject that we're going to be talking about today is about seasonal home improvement ideas. And these were shared by one of our writers, Kaylee Blakovich. What were some of the areas around the home that, you should think about tackling this time of year?
Sure. Yeah. Well, one thing you definitely want to do before it gets too cold, you want to check to make sure your roof is kind of in good repair. Another thing that we're planning around our house, Kaylee had suggested was interior painting. We've got some projects that, there's not a lot you can do outside, so we're going to bring that inside. And we're also in the process, we've got a big tree in our front yard, so all the leaves are falling down. So if you every day we rake them, more falling back down. So had like 10 bags of leaves in our garage. Yeah. But we found a neighbor, little girl next door who wants to do it. So we kind of exported that out. So that's helped us out. And then, also some more just kind of warming things for inside. When I replace or seal your windows, and trimming the trees is also a good thing to do for winter.
Absolutely. One thing we've talked a lot about today, obviously, is, doing a chimney inspection, making sure that your fireplace is good to go. And to go along with that, you shared some tips that could give your fireplace a facelift. I wonder if you could share with us some things that you can do to kind of spruce up your fireplace.
Yeah. So I talked to some fireplace design experts and remodelers. They're really fall into two categories. You can either reface it, kind of like you were talking earlier, or you could go for the full remodel.
Yeah.
Refacing, you could either kind of wrap the brick in tile or wood, or completely cover it with plaster and drywall, or you can paint it. That's the least, I guess, labor intensive, but it's also kind of the hardest thing. If you change your mind, it's hard to undo. Those other options are a little easier to undo. Or there are also some products out there that are kind of like stone veneers that you can just apply on top of the brick if you kind of want more of a rustic look.
Yeah. So. It seems like there's more and more options than ever out there you used to think of what a fireplace is going to look like in a home, but now people are trying so many different things, and it's kind of cool to see the different materials that are out there that people are using. You also wrote about winter attic tune-ups, and this is not typically an area of the home that you're thinking about a lot, maybe especially this time of year, unless you're going up there to put on the Christmas tree and decorations. Why should somebody really be kind of paying attention to their attic this time of year?
Well, yeah, it can cost you a lot of money and damage and repairs if you kind of look to have it. Make sure everything is kind of all tuned up. The main problem is ice dams, which
Right.
you have those can kind of indicate that you're paying more to heat your attic than you are to the house, as you don't want the attic to be kind of warmer there because it's a sign of problems. And you could just be paying more than you need to in your heating. And also, when the snow melts on the roof, when you have a warmer attic, then that overflow can trickle into your attic, could cause some mold. Pest problems, shingle problems. So definitely important to have someone check that out.
No question. We've talked about ice dams on the show before and how serious of an issue that is. So, whatever measures you can take to kind of prevent that on the front end, it's definitely something that you should be thinking about. One thing this time of year, we talk about, snowbirds. The weather's starting to get colder. People are going to be flying south for the winter. What are some things that people should do if they're going to be, leaving for the colder seasons? What are some things they should take care of now before they hit the road?
Well, first thing you want to, it's a kind of a security issue, but also kind of just a clutter issue. You don't want mail stacking up in your mailbox.
Right.
So people know that you're gone. So you can forward that for as short as 15 days, I think, at the post office. And suspend your delivery of all of your magazines and
Right.
that kind of stuff, and have if you have a neighbor who can collect flyers and things, do that. And also just some maintenance things, like set the thermostat lower and just save yourself some energy. Close the chimney flue. You don't want any pests coming in.
Right.
What else? There's some really cool apps actually for maybe home monitoring, security systems that can maybe just to make sure that your house, your pipes don't burst or
Right.
anything. So.
Yeah, it used to be something as simple as just making sure you lock the door before you leave the home, but now you can actually control so much just from the palm of your hand while you're, hundreds or thousands of miles away, which is kind of
Right.
cool. What sort of health and financial tasks should be addressed before someone leaves home for the winter?
Right. You definitely want to make sure that if you have prescriptions that you're kind of extending those, you have enough medicine to take while you're gone. If you don't have a doctor you see when you're snowbirding, and bring copies of your medical records in case anything happens. But you also want to let your bank know that you're going to be gone. So in case, depending on how far away you're going to be traveling, that way they won't block your accounts and
Sure.
then you're stranded out there. And then also set up auto bill pay. Make sure all your bills are paid at your primary residence, and then bring your tax documents if you're going to be gone for a really long time, which I would be really jealous.
Yeah, no
also,
kidding.
if you have the option to stay through April.
Yeah, that's a heck of a trip.
Yeah.
One of the most interesting pieces I thought from this month in the AO Weekly, and talking about, preparing things for winter, a lot of people have had their hoses out in their yard all summer long, of course, to be watering their lawn, and now it's time to put those away. There was a really fun piece on tips for storing your hoses. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, definitely. As I know, in Indiana, it can you are a lot more susceptible for things freezing, and that can really kind of back up your pipes and everything. So you want to make sure that you turn off the spigots and the water shut-off valves, remove any attachments, and you're going to disconnect those just to make sure that it's not backing up into your internal pipes at your house. And then once those are done, you definitely want to make sure that they're all drained and wrapped up properly. You can store those inside
Very
near the
good.
house.
Well, Amanda, this has been great information today. Thank you so much for taking the time to share with us.
No, thanks so much, Kyle. It's always fun.
And of course, you've heard this great information. Now you've got to check it out by downloading the Angie's List Weekly from the iPad App Store or on your Android device. You can get issues individually or even subscribe and get each issue as we release it. There's an Angie's List membership included, so check that out. Another thank you to Dennis Lamb for joining us today, and for all of you for listening in. I'm Kyle Hawk, and we'll catch you next time.
Angie's List believes that hiring great local service providers should be easy. Whether you need a plumber or a pet sitter, you can find one at angieslist.com. See ratings and reviews in hundreds of categories, shop popular offers, and request scheduling assistance directly online. Memberships start at just $9.99 per year. That's less than $1 a month. Join today and get 40% off with promo code WIBC40. Visit angieslist.com to sign up.